Alrighty, Ron and Bernadette Franklin off of Woodside in Bend. Ron and Bernadette are updating their electric furnace and adding a heat pump. This looks a little messy right now, but we'll clean this up a little bit before installation. But looking somewhere in this area, there is, I don't know if that's a strike post or an actual release valve right there. We've got sprinkler head right here, but looking at putting a heat pump like right here to connect with the electric furnace. Ron had mentioned that it could sit in this area. I don't know how much sense that would make or feasibility. I don't know what we'd have to do as far as burying the line set, so that might not be adequate. But moving this hose to the other side, clearing some of that stuff out, and we should have plenty of room right there, and he's not worried about blocking the walkway or anything right there. Bernadette's on the phone, so I'm going to do this outside. So this is their master. There is a vent underneath their bed on that wall, and they're going to reconstruct this. So they'd like to just have the vent that's attached on that wall flipped over and have a new boot and supply like right here near the door. The ductwork is a combination of flex and hard pipe. All of the boots have 6 to 8 inch piece of flex on the end of them, so there should be enough give or slack to just flip it around, because you're literally talking about probably 6 feet that way to 6 feet that way from the Y. With just hell, you might even be able to use the existing boot and vent and just cut a hole and reposition it. Crawl space access is right there. I do have a separate video for what the crawl looks like. They are doing CEC. I do apologize. It's a little bit bigger than I thought. So I'm going to lobby for you, Chad, to maybe see if Jeff can come out and seal vents and ductwork. Breaker panel is a GE. I've included a diagram of that for the electricians. It appears to be full, but this is labeled as a spare, and they currently have 25 kW. So I think there's still room in there to tee some breakers off, I believe. And this can be reused for either the heat pump or the steam humidifier, or heat pump, steam humidifier. So might not need to be resized as far as the amount of breakers. Just have to modify actual amperage with simple breaker swaps. As I said, crawl space access is here. If you go in and to your right, the base can is that way. There's a tankless water heater right here. This will all make sense in a minute. So there's plumbing that comes back here. For the steam humidifier, we obviously have to have water line and also a circuit. In the other video and some pictures, you see where the circuit comes from over here and then runs along with the plumbing over to where the water heater used to be. Furnace is here in this little utility closet. These are detachable for when we do the installation. There is your old water lines that run down into the crawl, and there is a GFI in here. I'm not sure if that would make it easier or useful for the humidifier. So this is actually going to turn, so it's facing that way. You've got a top can. I have one return here just outside, and then there's another one right above us on a little loft area that's a floor return. So for the humidifier, I'm not sure what makes the most sense, but I was envisioning right there, and then line up, and then line down. Circuit comes up out of the floor, and thermostat is here, just on the outside wall, and it is 8 wires. So this is currently 16 by 20, and that's how it's plumbed in, both here and here. I've got the measurements from each of the walls, but we'll probably end up replacing that entire transition. It's a little offset just with the size of the furnace, so it might just need to be widened out for the new furnace. And then last thing, while we're in the crawl space, there was a toe kick that comes up right here that is clogged. It's got, Ron had mentioned that he put a camera down there, and there's a rag that's been stuffed into it, so he would just like that removed. I think that about covers it, and there is an additional video with some comments from the crawl space.